Yeah, welcome to the Bump and Run podcast, Saturday gambling extravaganza. I'm Michael D. White, joining you for the first time in a couple weeks. Usually Matt the Statman Riley takes care of the gambling segments on Saturdays. He's working on moving out of his apartment, so I'm hopping in. I got a whole bunch of stats, though. I got his stats from last week. We're talking Gateway. We're talking a new track for the NASCAR Cup Series. We just saw a great truck race. I'm excited for it. So I practiced yesterday, qualifying this morning. Got a whole lot of numbers, but first, like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do on YouTube. If you don't listen to us on Mondays on the podcast, let me refresh our picks from Monday night before we even saw practice or qualifying. Matt the Statman Riley made a great pick off of intuition. He picked Joey Logano to win on the show, and after yesterday's practice, I think that's a great pick. He qualified 7th, but he ran second quickest in a 5-lap average and first quickest in a 10 and 15 lap average. That's a fast 4 to Joey Logano. So I think Matt Statman Riley made a great pick there. Eric Daytona Ron, he picked Kevin Harvick to win. Looking at practice though, Harvick had a little bit of a rough one, running 12th in the 5-lap average, 12th quickest in the 10-lap average, 9th quickest in the 10-lap average, and then 10th quickest in a 15-lap average. So he's got a pretty quick car, did not qualify very well. Harvick starting in 20th. I don't know, Daytona Ron. I'm staying away from Kevin Harvick. Maybe you want to. He's a plus 2,800, so a little bit of a long shot on those odds. And then I picked Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell had a terrible car in practice. 21st quickest on a 5-lap average, 17th quickest on a 10-lap average, but he did qualify 3rd. So I think they're working on that car after Friday's practice. Got a little bit quicker for qualifying. He's sitting at a plus 1,200. I just like those odds. I think Christopher Bell's been running very well the last couple of weeks. Very consistent in the top 5, top 10. Definitely knocking on the door of a win. So that was my pick to win. I'm still in it. But then I started thinking we got some other fast Fords to talk about. Ryan Blaney, the quickest Ford in a 5-lap average, second quickest in a 10 and 15-lap average consistently. He's sitting at a plus 1,000. I think Ryan Blaney could have a breakout race today, get that win he's been searching for all season. But if you're like me, maybe you like to hedge your bets a little bit. I'm betting Ryan Blaney in a top 3 position. He's plus 250. So you bet $1, you win $250. I think that's pretty good. I'm gonna throw a little bit of money on Ryan Blaney. He's also gonna be in my fantasy lineup for sure. His teammate Joey Logano, talked about him. He's sitting at a plus 1,000. Qualified 7th. Again, super quick. Plus 270 for a top 3 finish. So I think I'm going to run Joey Logano for a top 3 as well. Their teammate, Austin Cindric, qualified 2nd. He's the outside pulser, sitting at plus 1,400 for the win. He was 3rd quickest in a 5-lap average and 3rd quickest in a 10-lap average. Austin Cindric, he's got a quick Ford. Can he hold on to it the entire distance? I feel like Austin Cindric's had pretty bad luck just running consistently. I'm staying away from Austin Cindric. But if you want to, I wouldn't blame you. He's got a fast car. We'll see what he could do tomorrow in the race. A long run. This guy was 4th quickest in a 5-lap average, only 25th quickest in a 10-lap average, but he's sitting at plus 6,000. Eric Jones qualified 21st. I probably wouldn't put more than $1 on him, but at a plus 6,000, why not throw $1? I'm betting him for a top 10 though. I think Eric Jones might pull it off, get a little bit of adjustments in the car. He's sitting at plus 240 for a top 10. Why not? I'm throwing maybe a quarter of a unit on here. Kyle Busch, 5th, 4th, and 3rd quickest in practice in a 5, 10, and 15-lap average. Qualified 12th, sitting at plus 800. I don't know if I want to bet KB for the win. I definitely want to put KB in my fantasy lineup. That's for sure, though. He's got a fast Toyota over there. Chase Briscoe, your pole sitter, but where did he do in practice? I like to take a look at practice, see how the guys are running in lap averages, and kind of hedge my bets that way. He ran 6th, 11th, and 8th in a 5, 10, and 15 lap average. Definitely playing him on fantasy. Can Chase Briscoe get his second win of the season? I think he could. He's sitting at a plus 950. Why not throw a quarter of a unit on him? I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's see. Ross Chastain. Qualified 10th, running in the top 10 in a 5, 10, and 15 lap average. He had 7th, 5th, and 4th. So a very fast Chevrolet for Ross Chastain. Just waiting for win number 3 from him. He's sitting at a plus 1,000. I'm probably not gonna bet him this week, to be honest with you, but I am putting him in my fantasy lineup. No particular reason. Maybe I'll put a quarter of a unit on him, or maybe a full unit for a top 10. Play a little safe. The problem is the odds of a top 10, you're looking at negative odds. So you're betting more than you're going to win. I try to stay away from those types of bets. Someone else I'm staying away from, Kyle Larson. He had a quick car in practice, finished 8th, both in a 5 and 10 lap average. Qualified 15th, though, and Kyle Larson's luck has just been atrocious. He's always the favorite to win every week, and I don't know what the odds makers are doing. He's plus 800. I'm staying away from Kyle Larson this week. Denny Hamlin, though, might be a good play, plus 900. He qualified 6th. He ran 9th and 7th in a 5 and 10 lap average. So looking at Denny Hamlin, he might have a repeat of last week. We'll see what he could do. I feel like the Toyotas are finally coming to life here, especially that Denny Hamlin number 11 car. My guy, Tyler Reddick, qualified 4th. He ran 10th in a 5 and 10 lap average and 5th in a 15 lap average. He's sitting at plus 1,200. You know I'm putting money on him. I'm throwing 2 units on Tyler Reddick. He ran really well last week, came back from adversity. I think he's going to run really well this week. So I'm doing plus 2 units on him to win. Is a long shot, but why not? Kevin Harvick, we already talked about him. He's plus 2,800. Daytona Ron's got confidence in him. Watching practice, though, he did run pretty well at 12, 9, and 10, 10 in a 5, 10, and 15 lap average. So a pretty quick car. Don't know what happened in qualifying. I didn't get a chance to see that qualifying run. I don't know if he had to burp the throttle or something, but he's going to be fighting his way through the field. I know that for sure. Eric Almarola, a guy that I'm definitely going to play for a top 10. He's sitting at plus 2,400. Eric Almarola is a sleeper on smaller tracks like this. I'm looking at him for a top 10, sitting at plus 125. So I'm throwing 2 units on Almarola for a top 10. He qualified 8th, ran 15th, 12th, and 7th in a 5, 10, and 15 lap average respectfully on there. And then this is my long shot play. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. qualified 27th. Terrible. But was running pretty good in practice. 16, 14, and then 6th in a 5, 10, and 15 lap average. Sitting at plus 8,000. 8,000. I'm throwing $1 on Ricky. Why not? You know what else I'm doing? I'm throwing a unit on a top 10 for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He's come in the top 10 in the last 4 races. He has a pretty quick car. Didn't qualify the best, but I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Ricky so far. He's not a stranger to this track, and I'm thinking he gets a top 10 this weekend in Gateway. And then back to my pick from the podcast on Monday. If you missed it, go check out the podcast. But I picked Christopher Bell. He qualified 3rd. Terrible. Like I said in practice, 21st and 17th in a 5 and 10 lap average. He's looking at negative 145 for a top 10, so I'm not going to bet him on a top 10, but I'm going to bet a quarter of a unit on a win. Why not? We're getting crazy here. And then someone I'm staying away from, and I thought he would do a lot better, Chase Elliott, qualified 16th, ran 14th and 15th in a 5 and 10 lap average. So he seems right now, the way we're sitting, at about a 15th place car. He's sitting at plus 950 in the odds. I'm staying away from Chase Elliott. Those are all the people I think are going to be movers and shakers during the race on Sunday. But I think there's a lot of opportunity to make some money with these guys, especially if you're betting top threes like I'm going to be doing. I'm betting top three on Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, just to start. Oh, I'm also betting a top 10 on Kurt Busch, Eric Jones, Eric Almarola, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. All those guys for just the top 10 are sitting at a plus 125 or better. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is sitting at plus 290. You bet $10 on Ricky Stenhouse Jr. To win, or no, to get a top 10, and you're getting what? $29 back? No, $290? No, I'm terrible at math. All I know is I'm betting a unit on it. We'll see if I'm throwing that money away. But if you don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to units, I do my monthly budget for gambling. Say I want to spend $100 gambling. One unit will be 1% of your monthly budget. So for me, it's going to be $1. Remember, when you're betting on NASCAR or any sport or betting in general, never bet more than you're willing to lose. This is for fun. You're not trying to make this a business. We're just having fun here, betting on a little NASCAR, making the races a little bit more interesting, and we will break down the race Monday night like we always do on the Bump and Run podcast. Me, the stat man Matt Riley, and Eric Daytona Ron. We're going to have a good time talking about Gateway. I can already feel like it's going to be a great Sunday race, and let's make some money, baby. I'll tell you how I do on these picks on Monday. If they hit, if they lose, no, we never talk about losses here. But make sure you like, share, subscribe on YouTube. If you listen to the podcast, check us out. We're on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. We're everywhere you can find us. Follow us on Twitter at Bump the letter N Run Pod. Bump and Run Pod on Twitter, Facebook. bumpandrunpod.com for the website to check out the podcast. And we'll talk to you again Monday night. I'm Michael D. White for the Bump and Run podcast. And I hope you make some money, baby.